Good morning, guys. Got a wonderful day here today. Yeehaw! Want to talk to you about electrical in your house. I've talked about this very briefly in a couple of my vlogs, but yesterday's live stream, I think I want to dive into that a little bit more, especially if you're going to ship stuff from your native country. Morning.
Morning.
If you'll recall in the videos there was one situation where we had a breaker constantly kicking. That's a good thing. Searching it out wasn't that bad because it was only 3 receptacles to check. But my electrician said that we had a faulty plug because there was USB involved. 2 USB ports and an electrical port. Now, the way we resolved it, because in my mind, it's this damn braided wire that they use in the Philippines. And of course, it's 12 gauge. We were lucky we took 12 gauge Wagos with us, so that was not a problem. But the problem came in with the fact that the braided wire probably splayed out or whatever and caused a short with the USB port. As soon as we put in a solid jumper, Bob's your uncle, it was done. So I'm going over to the hardware store here. I want to show you what type of, if you don't want to go solid copper, okay? So you can get the jacketed, I don't know if all of you call it Lumex, but it's jacketed, 2 conductors inside a jacket, and solid copper. 12 gauge or 14 gauge. I would suggest nothing but 12 gauge in your house. Don't horse around with 2 different gauges of wire. It's a pain in the backside. You're only allowed to use the 14 gauge for your light receptacles on the ceiling, but if you put in a ceiling fan, you need 12 anyway. So cut to the chase, only have 1 piece of stock and you are good to go. But I want to show you these receptacles. I'll describe it to you quickly. A screw, the old-fashioned screw type, not the plug type, hate them. Don't mind if it's solid copper, right? I don't mind if it's solid copper. But if it's braided, the one with the screw, but has to have the plate. So you can just stick it straight up. You don't want to curl it, because if you do that, you're going to stress that copper, and you are going to potentially have one break loose, okay? And after talking in the live stream yesterday, ta-da! That's where you get your fires in the Philippines, is mostly with electrical. Thing shorts out to the point of, lighting up the receptacle or, burning all that plastic that's there. Melting it away, all that sort of thing. And once it hits a flame level, it will ignite. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about when I'm talking about receptacles. Now, I'm not sure if I'll see one here with a USB, but it doesn't matter. It's the same kind of thing. You can get USB with electrical in Canada too. Not a problem. Let's go in the hardware store. Okay, so I'll show you overlaying. Guys, like so many businesses, they have background music going on and, just gonna get a copyright thing. Even the free music that I use lately, they're all throwing copyright claims against it. And I sent an email to one and they said, yeah, every time you use it, you have to put our code in there. I'm not doing that. So there won't be any music on my videos anymore, because even free music isn't free. Hey, let's get back to electrical. Okay, so on the picture here, you'll see that we have some, basic old-fashioned, as I call them, receptacles. Yes, they have the point to push through, but again, remember in our country here, it's 14 gauge wire because we're 100 and something volts. Anyway, these are rated to up to 200 volt. That's not a problem, so just bring them from Canada is what we're going to do and replace all of ours. This other receptacle here, you can see it's got a plate on it, so you can put that braided wire in behind and then just tighten it down without stressing that wire, because let's face it, when you push the receptacle back in, you're going to stress the wire anyway, because you're going to have, it's going to, you know, do that wavy thing as you push it back. That's the only thing that I can think of, guys. Bring your electrical from Canada or your native country. Just make sure it's rated for 200 plus volts and you'll be good to go. Same with your switches, do the same thing. And if you can search out Wago 12 gauge, there you go. I think that's the solution. I was very frustrated with the fact that they sell product there that's based on the braided wire, and yet the braided is causing all sorts of problems there. You got to remember that trying to pull a conductor that is solid through a 3/4 inch electrical pipe with sweeps on it, it ain't gonna be so easy if you have solid wire, especially if it's still jacketed. You haven't stripped the jacket off. 2 beers yesterday in the live stream gave a good idea. At one point we had to use coconut oil, just drip some down on the sweep that was down below, and that solved our problem. But he said just powder up your wire before you put it in and it will slide just fine. So some baby powder and you're good to go. Tips and tricks that we run into when we just start talking. Wonderful. Later, Gators.